I was going out with S, a very likable English widower. We had been going out for a month when he popped the big question. I stared at him, not sure he had really asked me to marry him after 4 dates. He had been alone 15 years, I for 11 years. I told him it was still too early and we would have to give it more time. He agreed, although insisted his feelings would never change for me. I had only to say yes and he would arrange everything. I don't know if this is pertinent or not, but he is very wealthy and well, if anyone read any of my previous answers, I'm pretty much living from hand to mouth. Anyways, back to S. On one of our subsequent dates he asked me if I am seriously seeing him or if I'm also going out with other men as well as with him. I've had lots of women suggested to me by well-meaning friends, but I told them all that I am seriously dating a lovely girl and am uninterested. What about you? I told him the truth. That I was seeing only him. He breathed a sigh of relief and smiled sweetly. I'm a jealous guy, he smiled, and we both laughed. Last Sunday my friend called me. She was organizing a singles event on Wednesday night. Do you want to register? She asked. Lots of guys coming. I told her no, that I was seeing somebody seriously. Then from out of the blue, I'm not even sure why it popped out of me, I asked, anybody by the name of SD, his name, registered? She came back a second later with the reply, yes, he registered 3 days ago. What? What? I couldn't believe it. I then thought, Raquel, you're being silly. It must be someone with the same name as him. I mulled it over a bit, then called her back. On second thought, count me in. The event was scheduled for this past Wednesday, October 16th at 6:30 p.m. At 6 p.m. I called him. Hi, how are you doing? I asked him. Are you doing anything special tonight? Would you like to meet, say at 6:30? He mumbled and finally said that, an old pal of his from London, was meeting him at 6:30 but at 9 p.m. he would leave the pal as, you are more important than him. Fine, I sweetly told him, enjoy. I'll call you at 9 and we can decide where to meet. I marched into that singles event like a general ready for war. I was really getting angrier by the minute, but a part of me, I guess a nicer part, kept on telling me that it's all a mistake and that he wouldn't be coming. At 6:35 he hadn't shown. I felt like a fool. Wasted my time coming, I thought to myself. At 6:45 the guy walked in, a happy smile on his face. He smiled to some of the participants, winked to others, turned and saw me sitting there. I cannot describe the myriad of emotions that flitted through his face in that second. Surprise, shock, happiness, anger, disappointment, shame. He walked right up to me and said in a low voice tinged with anger, I told you I'm a jealous man. I asked you to marry me. What are you doing at a singles event? I turned to him and said as coolly as I could, I guess I'm here for the same reason you are. He was furious, yes. At me. For coming there, and coldly told me that his pal from London hadn't showed up, so he had just, on the spur of the moment, decided to go to the event for a few minutes and then he was leaving. I looked at him, really looked at him, past the charming English accent and the nice guy the first had thought he was, and saw him for what he was. A deceitful liar. I picked up my bag and told him quietly, the problem with that statement is that my friend organized this event. She told me you had pre-registered a week ago. The color left his face as he realized I knew the truth. We haven't spoken since. Ah, such goes the search for a life partner. I will have to start looking again. Sometimes it doesn't seem to be worth all the heartache involved. Maybe it's just a fairy tale spun to make us all feel better? Thank you to everyone who reads this post. It was very therapeutic getting this off my chest, especially since it just happened 3 days ago. PS 6,700 upvotes. OMG. I want to thank you all for your support. The more I process what happened, it's been 10 days now, the more I realize what actually occurred. Yes, as so many people expressed it so well, I am thankful I dodged that bullet. I know that it sounds silly, but I was actually in shock for a few days. I comfort myself by reading all the nice comments here on Quora and by eating lots of chocolate cake. Smiley face. I wish you all the love and happiness you sent my way.